It's not the grand moments that make us exceptional. It's the small, slow, steady steps we take daily, especially when no one is watching, applauding, or believing in us yet. We often look at remarkable people like athletes or leaders, and we assume that they're cut from a different cloth. But what if I told you that many of the most inspiring athletes in history began with disadvantages and setbacks, limitations, and sometimes heartbreaking obstacles? Today, we're diving into the stories of 5 extraordinary people whom I greatly admire because they each built greatness through tiny, consistent actions. I'll share how those same principles apply directly to your life, your wellness, your confidence, and your future self. Welcome to episode 38 of Making Mel Health in the Hustle. This podcast is a place where motherhood meets muscle, ambition meets exhaustion, and figuring out how to prioritize my health journey into the insanely beautiful chaos of a busy life is what I talk about. Some days it'll look messy, some days flawless. But no matter what kind of day I'm having, I can assure you I will tell the truth and give my best effort to give you some good ideas and insight to help you prioritize your own journey. So let's get into it. I want to start today with one of my favorite examples of perseverance, Diana Nyad. At age 64, after 5 failed attempts over several decades, Diana finally completed the 110-mile swim from Cuba to Florida. This was a feat that no one had ever completed without a shark tank. And her success wasn't about talent, and it wasn't about youth. It wasn't even about physical strength. It was about daily effort. She trained for years with small, manageable increments, longer swims, colder water, rougher seas. And with each day, she asked herself only one thing: can I go a little further today? And that tiny, simple question built a historic achievement. Her mantra was find a way. Not find the perfect way, not find the easy way. Just find a way. And that's what daily effort does. It opens pathways that weren't there before. Diana's story shows us that age, setbacks, and failure don't get the final word. Persistence does. But perseverance isn't just about endurance. Sometimes it's about mastering the basics so well that greatness becomes inevitable. And no one embodies this better than Simone Biles. Simone is the greatest gymnast of all time, but people often miss the part of her story that truly matters. She spent years on top of years drilling the basics. Tiny adjustments. Repeat after repeat after repeat. While many gymnasts focus on big skills, she perfected the smallest movements. And Simone's life had challenges. She had childhood adversity, emotional and mental strain, trauma, moments where she had every single reason to quit. But she continued to take small, steady steps. One more rep, one more turn, one more choice to show up. Greatness didn't come from her talent alone, though she certainly has that. It came from thousands of micro efforts that she invested when the cameras were not rolling. And that's the message she sends us. Small steps create mastery. Small steps create confidence. Small steps create a life that you can be proud of. Simone reminds us that excellence is built quietly. It's through repetition and discipline. But what if you don't start with talent or belief from others? What if you're just an everyday person trying to prove you belong? Well, that's where Brandon Burlsworth's story changes everything. Brandon Burlsworth is one of the most powerful examples of an unlikely athlete becoming exceptional. If you haven't seen the movie about his life, you really should. It's one of the most inspirational films that I've ever seen. He walked onto the University of Arkansas football team overweight, out of shape, and not considered talented enough to be there. No scholarship, no spotlight. The coaches didn't expect him to last an entire week. So what was it that he did different? Well, Brandon built himself through tiny, consistent actions. He went to the gym early every morning. He had small daily nutritional changes. He put in the extra practices. He had quiet moments of study. Tiny improvements in strength and in technique. He didn't attempt a massive transformation overnight. He focused on just becoming a little bit better every single day. Brick by brick, Brandon built himself into a scholarship athlete, an All-American, an NFL draft pick, and a symbol of discipline, humility, and courage. He not only won over all his teammates and coaches, but every single person whose life he touched. Brandon's life teaches us this. You don't need to be extraordinary to begin. You simply need to begin. And let the small steps take you daily and make you extraordinary. Brandon showed us that consistency can turn doubt into respect. But sometimes, even when effort doesn't guarantee success, heart still matters. And no one captures the power of heart better than Rudy's. Rudy Ruettiger is a story that resonates really deeply. He was too small, too slow, not enough talent, not enough resources. But Rudy had one thing that many people never develop. He had an unshakable daily discipline. His heart showed through. He showed up every single day, early, tired, sore, discouraged, and he kept showing up. He trained harder than anyone. He pushed farther. He refused to quit. He earned himself a place on the Notre Dame practice squad, not the team, the practice squad. And eventually, because of his effort and his heart, he stepped onto that field. It was a moment built from thousands of invisible efforts. Rudy taught us that small steps are powerful because they are proof of your heart. And heart matters. Rudy's journey proved that discipline and belief can push past limitations. But what happens when the limitation isn't just skill, but it's your own body? Well, Wilma Rudolph's story shows us that even physical barriers can be overcome, one tiny step at a time. Wilma Rudolph was told that she'd never walk normally again. She spent her early childhood wearing leg braces after contracting polio and scarlet fever. But her mother believed in the power of small steps, literally. Every day, Wilma practiced tiny movements, micro adjustments, small exercises, and rehab that built strength little by little. Those small steps didn't just rebuild her body, they rebuilt her belief. She went on to become the first American woman to win 3 Olympic gold medals in track and field in a single Olympic Games. Wilma proves that small steps can move you from brokenness to brilliance. Her journey reminds us that small steps don't just change outcomes, they change belief. And when you look at all these stories together, a pattern becomes impossible to ignore. So what actually separates exceptional people from everybody else? After hearing all these stories, you might be thinking, okay, but these people are different, they're special. They're built differently than me. But they're really not. They aren't outliers in talent or opportunity. They're not outliers in luck. They are outliers in their daily effort. See, exceptional people don't just wake up one day suddenly disciplined and confident, impactful or unstoppable. They build those traits through repetition, one ordinary day at a time. Here's what the people I've spoken about today have in common. They took small steps to create a powerful identity. See, exceptional people don't try to become a new version of themselves overnight. They understand something that most people miss. Identity is built through repetition. Every small action casts a vote for who you believe you are. When you show up again and again, even imperfectly, you start to trust yourself. You stop saying, I'm trying to be somebody who works out, and you start to say, I'm somebody who shows up. That shift changes everything. This group was consistent in their effort physically and mentally, even when it got hard, because they knew consistency beats intensity every single time. Exceptional people don't rely on motivation or big bursts of effort. They rely on daily discipline. They choose short workouts over skipped weeks, or simple meals over extreme plans. Small habits they can repeat over dramatic changes that they can't sustain. They know that intensity is exciting, but consistency is transformative. Here's something no one tells you. Emotional resilience is the real superpower, and exceptional people feel discouraged just like everybody else. They get tired. They doubt themselves. They want to quit. The difference? They don't let those emotions decide their actions. They keep going while they feel discouraged. That is emotional resilience, and it's built through daily effort. They have a clear why that carries them forward. When progress feels slow, exceptional people lean into purpose, not pressure. They know why they're doing the work: to feel strong in their body, to be present for their family, to prove something to themselves, to heal, to grow, to become more confident. That why becomes the fuel on days when motivation is gone. So a clear why is important. And finally, they focus only on today. See, exceptional people don't overwhelm themselves by asking, can I do this forever? Instead, they ask one powerful question: can I do this today? As Coach Val says, yesterday is a canceled check, tomorrow's a promissory note, but today is cash, so go spend it. See, exceptional people don't beat themselves up for yesterday, and they don't panic about tomorrow. They invest fully in today, knowing that today is what builds tomorrow. And that is what truly makes someone exceptional. Not talent, not resources, not perfect circumstances, just daily effort repeated over time. And here's the important part of this episode. Exceptional people aren't just Olympians or athletes in movies. They're people just like you and me who choose to keep showing up. And let me tell you why I believe in daily effort so deeply, because this isn't just something I've studied or admired from the outside. It's something I've lived, and I continue to live. For most of my life, I was not an athlete. I became an athlete at 47 years old, and I'm not a traditional athlete. I'm a power lifter, and movement wasn't natural to me. Strength was never part of my identity. I wasn't the sporty one or the strong one, or the one who played sports in high school, or the one who even felt confident in her body. I was the heavy girl most of my life. I was overweight, and I was the one who was awkward and could not figure out athletics. So when I started lifting, it wasn't because I thought I was good at it. I went to Iron Night Gym to lose some weight, and the weights found me, and I fell in love with heavy metal. I decided to take one small step and make effort. I just showed up. I'm not where I ultimately want to be in this sport, but I am light years from where I was when I started, and it's because of one thing: daily effort. When I was injured, tired, beat up, I still made attempts to get 1% better every day, and I continue to do that. One workout at a time, one lift at a time, one choice to come back the next day. And slowly, almost quietly, something shifted. Not just in my body, but in how I saw myself. I stopped asking, do I really belong here? Is this my world? And I started proving it to myself through daily effort. And I'm still proving it to myself. But this wasn't the first time that daily effort changed my life. Most people don't know this, but I live with a learning disability. I have dyslexia. My ability to learn has never been easy or automatic. Reading, processing, studying, everything took more time, more intention, more patience, and I never really understood why. There were plenty of moments when quitting would have made sense, when the road felt longer for me than everybody else. I didn't even know that I had dyslexia until I was working on my master's degree. All those years I struggled, and I just thought that things were harder for me and maybe I wasn't that smart. But over time, I learned how to work with my brain instead of against it. I built systems, and I had support. I kept showing up one assignment at a time, one class at a time, one semester at a time. I earned my bachelor's degree without knowing I had a learning disability. I earned my master's with systems in place, and I graduated with a 4.0. And now I'm working towards my PhD. No shortcuts, no sudden breakthroughs, just daily effort stacked patiently over time, brick by brick. Most people tell me how smart I am without ever knowing all the things I've had to overcome to get to this level. And here's what I've learned through all of it. Once you see that daily effort can change one part of your life, you start trusting it everywhere else. The gym teaches me discipline in my body, and education teaches me resilience in my mind. And both teach me the same truth. You don't become exceptional by doing extraordinary things once. You become exceptional by doing ordinary things consistently. I'm not here because I was naturally gifted. I'm here because I keep choosing the next small step. And if I can do that, so can you. So now it's your turn. I want you to take a look around you, and I want you to choose one thing in your life that you can change, just one. It might be wellness, mindset, nutrition, confidence, movement. It could be sleep or healing. Now I want you to ask yourself this question. What is one small step that I can take today? Not the perfect step, not the biggest step, just one doable step. Because your future doesn't change in giant leaps. It changes in small, steady steps that you repeat every single day. Just like Diana. Just like Simone. Just like Brandon and Rudy and Wilma. Just like me. Remember, you are already capable. You're already strong enough. And you're already worthy of transformation. Your job is simply to take the next small step, and then the next one, and then the next one. Because the life that you want is built through daily effort, one slow, steady step at a time. I didn't become confident before I showed up. I became confident because I keep showing up. And you don't need a different past or more talent or perfect circumstances. Not someday. Not when it's easier. Today, one small step is enough. Until next time, onward and upward, my friends.